So there have been a lot of rumors lately about Game Pass coming to Nintendo Switch, and I think a lot of people have really sort of dismissed this outright as something that's just not going to happen, it's not feasible. And I think the likelihood is that that's probably true, but I wouldn't be so quick to entirely write it off just yet. So let's talk a little bit about that today, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Hey, as always, if you're enjoying the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and please be sure to subscribe. Really, to me, what this all sort of boils down to is whether or not Nintendo Switch and the online infrastructure that they have set up is enough to make it work in a cloud format, because that's really the only way that Game Pass could show up on the Switch. I'm sure that there are all kinds of logistical nightmares that are associated with that, but I would not put it past Nintendo and Microsoft collaborating, because they've done this frequently in the past with game sharing and games that they've bought over from Microsoft to the Switch. We haven't really seen any Nintendo games make it over to Xbox quite yet, but that may not be too far off. I guess we'll see. It's hard to imagine properties like Mario or Zelda or Mario Kart or anything else being brought over, because really those are sort of the main drivers for Switch hardware. But I don't think it's entirely out of the realm of possibility to see that sort of integration and collaboration happening in some format between these two companies. But again, I think ultimately this comes down to how good is the online infrastructure for the Switch, and can it support a cloud version of Game Pass? Because really that's the only way that this would work. There's no way that even games like the Master Chief Collection are going to run on a Switch in sort of their native format. Now, you could have companies like, I think it is Panic Button, who do ports and have done that well over to the Switch hardware, and maybe find a way to make something like Master Chief Collection, just as an example, work in a different iteration than we're used to. But I think ultimately having the game stream would be the best way to go, and really the only way to go to make this even feasible at all. We've seen, for example, Control ported over to the Switch in sort of a cloud version. I've seen mixed results and commentary. I haven't tried it out personally to see how it works. I played Control on my Xbox. It's a fun game. I haven't finished it. But some people seem to think that the online capabilities of the Switch, and I'm not sure if it just comes down to something as simple as sort of figuring out the technicality of making the Wi-Fi work better on the Switch, but that it's a little bit laggy sometimes, that it's not always consistent and reliable. But I wouldn't put it past Microsoft and Nintendo to have been working behind the scenes to see if it's something that could happen, right? I mean, if Microsoft could get Game Pass up and running on Nintendo hardware on the Switch, that would be really an amazing thing, especially if it worked well. I mean, I would love to be able to take my Switch on the go and play all the games that I really love on Game Pass anytime I want, anywhere I want. Well, I say anywhere I want, but of course you'd have to have a stable Wi-Fi connection. You couldn't just play it on the go because there is no 5G or LTE or whatever associated with the Switch. But it's not, in my mind, entirely out of the realm of possibility. And it could come in the form of something like XCloud, right? I mean, XCloud could show up on the Switch, and that could be a way for Game Pass to become a thing on that hardware. So, all of this speculation really was fueled by the official Halo Instagram account putting out some artwork that was sort of a Mario mashup with the Halo universe. And it was really interesting. And in my mind, they wouldn't do that sort of thing if they weren't teasing a little something. I mean, of course, in general, Nintendo and Microsoft are kind of buddy-buddy. They like to sort of take this stance of, we promote gaming, we love gamers, we want to see all gamers happy. But to me, that could be hinting at something. And so I wouldn't, again, write that off right away as something that's just totally not feasible and something that's not going to happen at all. Again, I've seen a number of YouTube videos and other sort of commentary lately saying, oh, there's just no way that's going to happen. But again, I'm not going to be shocked if within the next year, maybe alongside the Switch Pro, which I do think is probably going to be coming this holiday season. I think we're going to see more about Breath of the Wild 2 soon, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Game Pass or XCloud or something comparable being tied to that and touted with that at launch, because from Microsoft's perspective, all it means is more people are subscribing to Game Pass, right, and having access to it wherever they want to have access to it. So, again, it probably won't become a thing, but I wouldn't, push it to the side as being completely unrealistic quite yet. Anyway, though, those are just my thoughts, and I wanted to address this because I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and I do think it's interesting because I love Nintendo, I love Xbox, and I would love to see this happen. Again, whether or not it actually will remains to be seen, of course, but let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching.